It's a beautiful evening. I promised I promised myself that I would do another video on a Wednesday. Here it is, getting to sunset, and I am trying to make good on my promise. So today was one of those magical days where conversations, separate conversations, all seemed to have a thread that tied them together. I had a wonderful coaching client this morning where we were talking about, how would I put it? This desire to, for himself anyway, to be in the future and in the present at the same time. And he had sort of engineering terms for the idea of probability, future probability, and just being excited and living in that place, which for him came from his mind, and his wife being more in present. And he, trying to get connected in the body to at least my encouragement was, could he find a way to hold both? And this is an exercise I gave him in the moment, and I'm going to offer it to you tonight as well. I learned this in I don't know, as a yoga teacher many years ago, and I've used it ever since. So I don't know the theory behind it or anything. I just know that it did something for me, and maybe it'll do something for you. Seemed to do something for him this morning as well. So we'll start with that. So if you can get yourself comfortable, this will only take a few minutes. And you might want to close your eyes as long as you're not driving. And just sense your right hand. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to wiggle it around. Just see if you can sense from the inside what your hand is doing, is in space. Can you feel the edges of the fingers? Can you feel the space within and the space around each finger? Just take a moment and see if you can sense your right hand. I think I'm going to close my eyes because I find that helps me do that. You're sensing your right hand. And now do the same thing with your left hand. Just notice what you notice about your left hand. Is it just a full body sense? Do you feel yourself tracing your thumb, your fingers, the palm, the front and the back? Feel free to do whatever it is you do, but just be aware of your left hand. And now I want you to be aware of, sense into both hands at the same time. What is it like to sense, be aware of both your left and your right hand at the same time? I don't know, for me right now I'm getting a tingling in both palms when I do that. Anyway, I'll bring you back. I suggested this to him this morning and to myself every once in a while when I just need to ground, as a way to maybe even play with that around when you have a both and going on. I want to be in my mind and I want to be in my heart and in my body all at the same time. And just invite yourself to do that and see what happens. Notice what you notice. There's no right or wrong. It is just a way of connecting to yourself, becoming more aware of yourself, who you are in space and time in this moment. And notice what it does inside when you do this. For me, it really is a ground. As I said, I just sort of felt some energy in the palm of my hands. I don't know, like almost a tingling sensation. And we only did that for a few seconds. I'm wondering what it would be like if after this video you actually spent 10 minutes doing that little exercise to see what happens. And then maybe journal a little bit for what are some things you're trying to hold right now, or be with at the same time? Is there something going on? Maybe there's um, a relationship, something happening that you're holding. Maybe there's a long to-do list. Maybe there's chores. There's a desire to play or try, I don't know, play with a hobby or something like that. Whatever it is, maybe choose one, two, three of them, and then see what is it like to hold space for all of them at the same time, just in the sense of sensory knowingness, and see what happens. And then maybe journal about it to see what might come out while you write or make an art piece. It doesn't have to journal if you're not wanting to use words, because sometimes we don't have the words. So then I would suggest getting out your crayons and just what is the sensation you're feeling, and make marks on the page. Not necessarily a drawing, again, like the words, maybe you can't quite grasp that, but just let the energy of what you're in touch with come out in whatever way works for you. Maybe it's an interpretive dance. Maybe it's just simple movements, like gestures that's coming to you as you play with this concept. So that's what I've got for tonight. This is me making a promise to myself to continue. I had hoped to have the thumbnail thing down pat today, but today didn't go as planned that way. Oh, and I want to come back to the other, sorry, this is me, my mind mapping brain, which happened all day. So that was my morning conversation done by 9:30. And then I met with a wonderful friend, an elder in the community. And we once again had one of those conversations that tied into things I'd heard on the radio driving there, like around improv. And I'm often thinking about life is an improv. We live it unscripted. We may have our intentions and our plans, but really it's what happens in the moment. And can we allow for one of the tenets of improv is yes and, sort of embracing whatever's coming, honoring whatever's coming, whether that's grief, whether that's joy, whether that's perplexity, which is a lot of that right now, all of it. Anyway, here we go, mind map wise. There, that another tangent. Anyway, with this friend and I, we talked about community and collaboration and the current climate realities. Even though we're smoke in the air, we have so much in our face as awareness and evidence that we need to do something. And there's a feeling of people turning away. And I was thinking about, in my focusing world, that I'm in a relationship focusing, there's something called the protectors and the defenders, that everything in us is doing it because it thinks it's helping us, it's for us, even if the strategy is not exactly working for us. That part of us thinks it is helping us. And so that's where we come back to awareness and welcoming that part of us, to say hello to it, to be with it, to try and understand it, not to fix. Talked about that, I think, yesterday or last week. It's not about fixing, which is really hard for me, but being with and just holding time and energy for that. And I was wondering if we could play with, that's a very personal focusing for me right now, is very much about sensing inside me as a person. But it made me wonder in our conversation around community as an entity, and if we're turning away, it thinks it's protecting itself. Our community is thinking that it's doing the right thing by turning away, by ignoring the signs, by not making the choices that we know are actually going to help us in any way. So can we pause to just be with the entity of community that are doing the best they can, and then be with that reality, and understand that they're doing the best they can, and just sit with the possibilities of, if I can be accepting and not judgmental of myself and my defenders and protectors, then can I do the same thing with my community at large as a wholeness, and just sit with that and see what arises. Eugene Genlin, one of the founders of this thing called focusing, talks about there is a life force in us that wants to carry forward. And sometimes it's not a conscious thing that's happening, but as we attend to the part of us and hear it, see it, be with it, sometimes just out of that, new actions follow. And I am playing with the concept of, I wonder if that's possible with community as well. And as I hope to offer ways to connect ourselves to ourselves, I'm hoping there might also be something around connecting with the community, your network, and allowing things to unfold that way too. So I'm going to allow this video to be as it is, as part of my process of just, I am making the path while walking it. I love that line. I don't know where it came from, but it's so visceral for me. I think when I first heard it, I was literally making a path in my meadow here. And each time I walked it, right, the grass lay down, bounced back up. But if I kept on that path, it eventually created a path that was easier and easier for me to walk. So with this YouTube channel, this is my practice, is just keep showing up, keep doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. As I speak, hopefully I will get clearer and clearer on what it is that I want to say and how I want to say it to you and share it with you. And hopefully it will provide some value to you. Anyway, welcome to my current sunset. I don't think you're actually seeing the colors that are there. So I offer you my geranium as some color. The sky was actually mimicking that color a few minutes ago, so it was kind of neat. Anyway, I think next week I will share the tool that I use a lot, because that came up in conversation this morning as well, my figure 8 tool. You can also find it on my website if you want to take a look. There's a blog post that I talk about how I use this figure 8 tool. If you're curious, go ahead and look there. I won't promise that it's going to be in the description, but maybe I'll have the link in the description if I can figure out how all these different things work together. Anyway, have a lovely evening, day, whenever you are maybe watching this. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Bye.